24 minutes before the hour, 6:36. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. Well, a new study is showing that 80% of all 10-year-old girls in the U.S. have dieted at least once in their lives. Experts are calling the National Eating Disorders Association statistics a cause for concern. Some point to factors like the emphasis on appearance, highlighted by magazine covers, television, and even ads that offer dieting tips on how to slim your waistline. Incredible. Kids wanting to diet. We have two problems. We have young girls that want to diet, and then we have a problem with obesity with kids. Joining us to talk about this is primary care physician Dr. Cory Rice. Good morning, Dr. Rice.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So how big, do you see this in your practice? Young girls? Yeah?
I do. And I found this study disturbing for several reasons. And one point I want to make is we can't lose sight of the fact that this epidemic of childhood obesity does not discriminate. It affects boys and girls. And, this particular study, did focus on girls. And you're exactly right. There's a dichotomy. There's this ramping up of childhood and adolescent obesity. I think since 1980, the amount of obese kids and adolescents has tripled, and that's just mind-boggling. And so, and then you have the other end, right, of these kids with these self-image problems, and it's just a huge issue. And so, but even though the study did focus on girls, please, we can't lose sight of the fact that it does not discriminate. It's boys and girls.
I was thinking of something. If you go back, if you're over 40 or over 50, and older, and you go back and you get one of these class pictures from when you were in elementary school, and you look at all the kids, and you probably would agree with me, in those days, you might have maybe one or two kids that were overweight in a class of 30 kids, and everybody else was rail thin. Now today, you look at a snapshot of 30 kids in a class, and maybe more than half of them are overweight, and some of them morbidly so. It's incredible to see the way things have changed.
It is incredible, and it's sad. And I see a lot of adults in our practice, in our facility, and I can tell you, what was once considered adult chronic disease is now being seen in kids and adolescents, and that's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And so there's just so many factors that go into that, but it is the reality.
Part of it, I think, is we have to encourage kids to get more exercise and be more active. This is, I think, lay the blame squarely on the shoulders of parents who allow kids to sit inside the house in inactive activities, whether it's, sitting on the computer, whether they're just surfing the web, or they're doing, homework online and they're not getting outside and exercising or anything like that. And to me, that's a big problem. And I was thinking, Doctor, I remember when I was a kid, one of my best friends, Greg Rutter, his dad put a basketball hoop in the garage. And Mom kept her car out of the garage during the winter. So even when it was raining outside, instead of sitting in the house watching TV, we could go into the garage and shoot hoops and play one-on-one basketball. That was great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was thinking to myself, you drive down a street in a community today, do you see basketball hoops, backboards on people's driveways anymore?
Right.
You just don't see that.
No, you don't.
We encourage kids to be lazy.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, they watch celebrity shows, and then a little girl wants to diet, and so she can look like some glamorous star, like she wants to be Kim Kardashian and have a nice figure and all that. And the mother doesn't say, "You're out of your mind. You're 10 years old."
No, you couldn't be more correct. And I want to touch on one thing you just said, the word diet. In our practice, I don't think as professionals and really as parents, we should use that word diet. It's been so overplayed and so overused, I think, in mainstream media, that what we use and what I encourage my patients and parents of children to use is food plan and meal plan. And sit down and talk about food planning and meal planning, and don't use the word diet, because diet is it has such a negative connotation behind it. And truly it's about understanding. And what we try to do is really preach the power of food. And if you eat the right foods, avoid the wrong foods. It's not about restriction. It's about eating the right foods. And things get so much better, both in kids and adults. And so really the word diet I try to square with.
Yeah, but it's the fat kids that need to diet, and the relatively thin ones don't need that. But, you're right. Probably right, using the meal plan. Well, Doctor, they're going to cut us off here in a second because they want to move you along somewhere else. But medicalfamilycircle.com is your website. Is there information there for our listeners on this issue?
Absolutely. They can go and check out. There's some good frequently asked questions on there, and we'll have some good videos uploaded.
All right, medicalfamilycircle.com. Primary physician Dr. Cory Rice, our guest this morning. Cory, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much. Have a great morning.